Lazarus leads the Storm out, 8 wins and 5 losses in 99. They started round 15 in 4th spot on 18 points. They are coming off 2 losses to the Dragons and the Raiders, but never lost 3 in a row. They've scored the most points in the comp, averaging 28 points a match. They have one of the best defensive records as well. 3 players backing up from the Origin: Robbie Ross, Matt Geyer, and also Rodney Howe. The coach is Chris Anderson. A big night for Chris in more ways than one, because his young son Ben is wearing the number 6 jersey, vacated by Scott Hill. Hill out for 6 to 8 weeks. And that's a real blow to the Melbourne Storm, so a big night for the Andersons.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Little Blake's going to have a lot of pressure on him too. And that he'll have to control his kicking game and steer his side around the paddock if something happens to Kamali around that ruck area, if he gets caught with the ball early.
Only his 6th first grade appearance. First run on start a fortnight ago. And listen to the roar of the crowd as Butterfield leads the Knights out onto Marathon Stadium in Newcastle. 7 wins, 5 losses and a draw in 99. They started the round at 7th spot on 17 points. They are coming off a bye. Prior to that, they beat the Sharks 26 to 18 here at Marathon, which was a fine send-off, a tribute to their retired captain, Paul Harrigan. And they have 3 players backing up from Origin 2, Andrew Johns, Adam McDougall, and also Robbie O'Davis. That has been a remarkable recovery from O'Davis. He was well and truly out after injuring himself in the Origin, but he passed the fitness test only a few hours ago, I'm told. So he is in there. The coach is Warren Ryan. The man under a lot of pressure tonight is Andrew Johns. Brett Kamali has been breathing down his back as far as representative football goes all year. So they will be in for a ding-dong battle tonight. Johns versus Kamali. Standing by now for the national anthem, performed tonight by Darren Fewens.
Rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gift of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
It's unbelievable, isn't it, from the crowd, right behind the team here, set for this kickoff.
The referee is Bill Harrigan, and we are underway, round 15, and it's a first touch of the ball for Robbie O'Davis, and he offloads immediately. Working their way out of their own 20 sideline tonight, former international Brett Kenny, and Brett a little chilly, but pretty good conditions, really.
Well, Greg, it is a little chilly, as you mentioned earlier, but it is very good conditions for football tonight. It's going to be a great clash. There's some great individual clashes, none better than Brett Kamali and Andrew Johns, but a very important game for both sides, in particular Newcastle. If they can manage a win here tonight, they will leapfrog 2 places in the competition table.
Yeah, plenty at stake. 15 from halfway now. The Knights completing their first set of 6 with the kick from Andrew Johns, and Marcus Bai gets an early touch over on the left wing, charges into them, and he's taken 10 from halfway. The Melbourne Storm tonight in their away strip, the yellow jersey, and that was a pretty good one for them when they played their first match in Perth against Western Suburbs. They won that one by 62 to 6. I can't see them winning by that tonight, but they'll be happy to get away with a win, no doubt, in the away strip. Now this is Nico in his 100th match out to Marquette. Nico a dummy half. Picking up the runners, and it's Howe back to Nico, offloading Robbie Ross up from fullback. Kamali, Kearney got the ball away to Anderson. Great early form here from the Storm, only about 12 metres out. Final tackle coming up, it goes to Kamali, running to the line. They fire it out wide. Great pick up from Matt Geyer, back to Kamali, across field. Well, it was a great lead up, and now it's all come undone. And Albert got on the outside. Albert, the counter-attack. Ross is there to close them down. Oh, it's scintillating stuff early on, Gary Freeman.
Oh, it's unbelievable football on both sides. Putting themselves under a bit of pressure by opening up nice and early, giving the ball nice and wide. Great pick up by Albert. This is the penalty that was given. I like to think he's just run straight into the back and lost the ball cold. I don't think Robbie Ross pulled it out whatsoever.
Well, now it's a great attacking opportunity for the Knights, and Andrew Johns got away from Howe, but Lazarus was there to put him to ground. Badiris at dummy half. Matthew Johns looking for runners, turns it on the inside to Peden. He's picked up and dumped on the 10-metre line. Real pressure on the Melbourne Storm. Sean Rudder, he's 5 metres out. Badiris waiting for it. Matthew Johns puts it in the air. By will allow it to bounce over the dead ball line. That bounce could have gone anywhere, but in the end it was a lucky break for the Storm.
Well, I think it was very, very lucky for Marcus By. He thought the ball was going to go bouncing straight out in front of him. It didn't. It come back a little bit left angle there. And Lazarus now makes it up to the 30-metre mark.
Great pace early on, Brett Kenny.
It certainly is a very quick game. Not dissimilar to State of Origin football, but I think what Newcastle have got to be wary of is that the Melbourne Storm are capable of stringing 2 or 3 passes together and trying to look for a break on the edge of the ruck, which has already happened early in this first half.
Well, there's a let-off for the Storm as well. Play on was the call. And now it's Kearney, the Kiwi international, running to some pretty good form. Just short of halfway. Brett Camorley nudging it down into the corner. Robbie Davis, O'Davis is back there. And he's third going back from that long suspension, O'Davis, and you can see there that he has his right knee strapped. This is McDougall backing up from the Origin. 34 hit-ups in the last 2 games for Adam McDougall. Gedley.
I think what Melbourne's done well this time too. I know they've got Robbie Ross back. They put Tony Martin back up in the centres where he prefers to play. Just under Nico goes a fraction high there. And Shields.
We'll play it, centre field. Penalty. And he's marched them.
Thanks you for the sub.
Well, we've got Richard Swain for pushing a player.
What he'd done, Andrew Johns was going to take the quick tap. Richard Swain knew that if we'd let him do it, and under all sorts of pressure, it gives him a bit of a push here. Watch him. Andrew Johns is flying up there to get the quick tap. He just comes in, gives him a slight nudge out of the road, and then gives the Newcastle side an extra 10 metres.
Lomax plays it.
Oh, he's knocked that ball out cold.
Whoa.
Richard.
But Dearest just knocked it on, just a little too keen to pick it up and keep the momentum going.
He just comes off his left knee there. He got his hands around the wrong position.
Seconds down, locks down.
Richard Swain very energetic in these opening
Inside, foot back,
5 minutes of the game. The opposition, which he should be doing.
Anderson. Robbie Ross is up from fullback. Thought he spotted a gap, but it's soon closed. Howe. He's 10 from halfway. Marquette. 1 of 5 Melbourne Storm players who have played with the Newcastle Knights. So 5 of them pretty familiar with this territory. Robbie Ross also in there, of course, Camorley, Swain, Howe and Marquette. And this is Nico out to Gaia. Back to Nico. Camorley, nowhere to go. Taken in the tackle. Sean Rodder went low. Robbie Ross with a kick this time over to Darren Albert's wing, and he takes it. Takes it brilliantly, in fact. He had Marcus By right on top of him.
Great work there, won by Robbie Ross and putting the kick through. Great tag. And now Robbie O'Davis makes a good 15 metres across field and about 3 up the middle.
The captain, Butterfield. 201st first grade game, Tony Butterfield. This is Johns, just probing, trying to find a gap. Knocked back, lost the ball for a moment. Matthew Johns got the kick away. But Robbie Ross is perfectly positioned back at fullback. 0-0 coming up to the 7th minute. Ross is taken there by Gidley. Martin at dummy half to Marcus Bai. Bounced out of a shoulder charge from Matthew Johns.
I'll tell you what, that's one thing he does make you do. He makes you make sure you make the tackle on him. Very strong running.
Richard swaying out, just a couple of metres inside the Knights' territory. Rodney Howe, good touch by the Knights. 6 again. It's a real opportunity for the Storm to lay some sort of platform here. This is Kearney. 40 metres out. Now it's a skipper, Lazarus. As Swain waits for it. And Lazarus a little slow to get up there. Cornwally, Anderson gives it to Guy. Fell over the touchline, picked up and dumped over the chalk by McDougall. Well, we almost getting McDougall to take him on. He can't take you on.
Well, 1 minute, these two guys here, one carrying the ball, one making the tackle. They were mates on Wednesday night, and here they are, enemies, and a great tackle there by McDougall to take guys straight over the sideline.
Just take an extra step back with me.
Lazarus slow to get into the front row there. Wayne Evans warming up on the sideline. Penalty.
Second row and lock, you weren't even in.
What Bill Harrigan is trying to do is keep these sides away from each other in the early 6 to 7 minutes of the game.
There's a good touch finder as well. Lazarus has to move down to Lomax. 29 metres out. Miller has scored 2 very good attacking sides.
That ball was passed forward.
The Knights have scored 51 tries, 5th in the comp. Melbourne 67 tries, and they're on top in the try-scoring department. Kicking right into the legs of one of the Storm players, and Robbie Davis was fast enough to get back there ahead of Asiri Lang. To the short side they go now. Billy Peden taken by the replacement player Wayne Evans. Now it's Sean Rudder.
14 is Clinton O'Brien.
Medeiros. Davis. Coming back on the inside, Mark Hughes. His 50th first-grade game today, so another nice day for Hughes. McDougall got the pass away to Medeiros. A chance here for the Knights. Medeiros got it back on the outside to Mark Hughes. That's great play down the short side, and the Knights are in for the opening try. They lead by 4 points to 0.
Oh, that is just great football, isn't it? Just keeping everybody alive around the ruck area. And you find is one of the Melbourne players was down to Siri Lang, which is the winger. He got hurt in that tackle. There he is laying on the ground, so he takes no part in here, and that makes the Melbourne side very, very short on this left-hand side. Watch Medeiros though. What a great ball. Unbelievable. Picks up Mark Hughes, his back's up like he has been all year. Tremendous try to Newcastle.
Yeah, this is why they're one of the top sides in attack in the league, but this is great work by Medeiros. The support on the inside, he knew Mark Hughes was coming around on the left-hand side, lined him up with a great pass. It's been a great start for Newcastle.
Watch how he picks up the ball, gets stuck between his legs, picks up McDougall, but watch this. He gets the ball one-handed away with the right hand there, and as you said, he does well here. He draws in 2. Unbelievable. That is a very, very good try to Newcastle. I'll tell you what, this crowd here certainly get me behind them.
Third for 99. 12 in his career. And that is the angle and the distance now for Andrew Johns to try and add the extra 2. The radar was working against the Sharks. 5 from 6. Needs it to come round. It won't do it for him. He cannot add the extras, so it's 4 points to 0. It's Newcastle over Melbourne. So a pretty good start there for Newcastle. And the Storm through Kamali with the restart.
Just saying, who's captain?
Davis immediately picks out a runner. It's his captain, Butterfield. 14. That's Clinton O'Brien. Willie Peden will play it. Andrew Johns from dummy half. He goes wide to Gidley to Albert. Taken over there by Bye. That's going to be a great clash tonight. Albert on Bye. Final tackle coming up now for the Knights. Still inside their own territory. Andrew Johns getting the kick away. Siri Lang allows it to bounce. 10 out from his own line. The former Western Suburbs player did well to get away from a couple of tackles. That's a good return of the football by Siri Lang. 50 appearances for Western. It's only his third game for the Storm.
It's one thing about Newcastle, they can score those great tries, but then they know that their hard yards have got to be done. They will work out very, very hard around the ruck area to allow Johnsy to have a good kick.
Marquette is 10 from halfway. To the short side they go through Rodney Howe over to a man marked on the far side. It's Marcus Bye, full back to beat. Got away from O'Davis.
Oh, he's passed the ball.
It's been intercepted. Some Knights got inside the passing lane and Bye gave it to them, but what a great run by Bye over on the far side.
What about the ball from Rodney Howe? Put the little pass over the top there. I should say Marcus Bye got spun around that tackle. Then Andrew Johns turns up at the nick of time for Newcastle.
Yeah, a bit of a let off there for the Knights. A great break by the Storm. It'll give them some confidence, Brett.
Well, it certainly will. The defence has been a little bit wanting at times, but attack is not a problem for the Melbourne Storm, as we just saw. Well, I've got to there, Greg, just an update on Glenn Lazarus. They're looking at a possible groin strain. They are stretching his legs.
Oh, great ball, Robbie Ross!
Robbie Ross for the line. Andrew Johns, what a tackle, Andrew Johns. He found himself in space, Ross, but Johns cut him down. But now they're still on attack, the Storm. Kamali back on the inside. Marquette. He ran into a couple of Knights defenders there.
They've got to go left, Melbourne.
Anderson. Nikau trying to free the hands. He has to take the tackle. About 8 metres out. Anderson gave it up to Howe. He fires it back to nobody. It's been picked up there by Marcus Bye. He'll back himself, no doubt about that. Medeiros underneath. Over the top was Rudder. Swain. And now Kamali. Kamali turning it back on the inside. Kearney. Oh, he shaped the pass. He just couldn't get the hands free. They're down by 4, the Storm, but right on attack. Final tackle coming up. The little grubber kick for Robbie Ross. The race is on. Who's won the race? Harrigan's got to go to the video referee.
I'll tell you what, Robbie Ross has got up there. Of the ball. Robbie Ross has come up there very confident. You've seen the referee said he wants to make sure that he actually grounds the ball, but Robbie Ross got up and just said, mate, don't worry about that. I've scored this try. The big fella Steve Kearney, does he get it up? Wow. It'll be interesting to see, though, did Matthew Johns touch the ball before Robbie Ross did? In that situation there, has Matthew touched the ball? And if he has, that will be a try.
No try. They've ruled that he's dropped the ball. Well, a near thing there. Great combination again between Kamali and the flying Robbie Ross. But the Johns boys, that time it was Matthew that saved the day. Seconds earlier, it was Andrew that saved the try.
It's great footballers in both in attack and defence, these sides willing to use the ball when it has to be, as the big chief looks on. I know that he was desperate to get out there when the State of Origin side was playing, and let me tell you, he'd love to be out there now too.
So O'Brien plays at 10 from halfway. Matthew Johns trying to catch some napping just on the fringes of the ruck. Peter Shields can't get away from the Kamali. Got the pass away, and now it's loose on the ground. That'll be a Melbourne ball in pretty good field position.
Very good work there by Rodney Howe. One to try and get down on that ball and put the little kick in as Kamali makes about 5 metres.
40 metres out. Newcastle lead by 4 points to 0. This is Wayne Evans. Swain waiting for it to the short side. Rodney Howe.
Every time that he takes the ball forward, Rodney Howe is looking to offload all the time, and there's players there running into holes for him. Good work, Rodney Howe.
Kamali. Kearney turning, twisting. Can't break the tackle zone. Final tackle coming up. They're 20 metres out, looking for their first try. It's play on. Finer than last. Rodney Howe. He gets the kick away. But he's got him for a knock on earlier on. So that's the turnover. A comedy of errors there from the Melbourne Storm.
Well, what you're going to say about Newcastle put plenty of pressure on Kamali straight away in that kicking game. That allowed Rodney Howe to try and do the kick.
Must get back.
Peter Shields leaving the field for
Harrigan's
Newcastle
got the
for
Storm
multi-cam
inside the
systems,
10
suppliers of the
again.
multi-cam range of CNC flatbed rallying machine.
Robbie O'Davis going through, and the referee, you can see there saying you're inside the 10, you weren't backly whatsoever, and that's a penalty to Newcastle.
And now it's the Knights with very good field position, and Andrew Johns fires it out now to Matthew. Billy Peden, back to Badiris, and O'Davis up from fullback. He gets the pass away, they're keeping it alive, the Knights, but going nowhere. Now it's Conley on there in 16. Fletcher is also on there in 17. So Warren Ryan making some changes from the interchange bench. Wide ball. McDougall cutting back in. McDougall for the corner. Can he get it down? The crowd says yes. What does a touch judge say? It's a try. Adam McDougall. Sheer strength.
Oh, what can you say about the football the Newcastle Knights are playing? Absolutely sensational stuff. Look at the ball. It goes back inside. I thought it was just going to stop here, but the ball promotion is unbelievable. Andrew Johns, the nice long ball out to McDougall, steps off his left, goes in between two players, and this is where I thought he might have been just held up. The line just said, no, that's a try.
Well, we talk about Melbourne and the way they can attack and like to throw the ball around, but this Newcastle side, they are unbelievable, aren't they? Back up very well, and this guy is one of the best finishers in the business. And I'm looking at that replay there, I think he may have got the ball down first hand. I thought it might have been touch and go.
Yeah, I agree with you too, Brett Kenny. At first hand, I didn't think he'd get it down, but Masiri Lang, he should have stayed on the inside to push McDougall out. Both players come across there, and Gaia and Robbie Ross to try and hold him up, but just couldn't do it. Very, very strong, that close to the try line.
His first for 99. And on that performance, it won't be his last. Andrew Johns from the sideline this year, 37%. Half a metre in from touch. Has it got the legs or the direction? No. So the scoreline here at Marathon, Newcastle 8, Melbourne 0. 19th minute. So Melbourne will really have to hit back now because, as we know, the Newcastle Knights really grow in confidence. And the bounce of the ball is going their way. From the restart, Matthew Johns firing it out, looking for the runners. 13 is Billy Peden. Mark Hughes. He's on the score sheet to try to Hughes and also to McDougall. It's a 30-metre mark now. Andrew Johns back on the inside. Good work by the forwards. Peden is short of halfway. Andrew Johns over the top of Robbie Ross, sending him back into the in goal. And Ross is going to have to get out of there in a hurry. 5 from his own try line.
Looks like he's got all of the time in the world, doesn't he? What a great tackle. Come flying out the line there, Badiris. Tremendous work there. The Newcastle side, right attack and defence, you might as well say. He just come flying out of the line. Tremendous stuff. Gets a big pat on the back from his players.
Very committed side tonight, the Newcastle Knights. And look at that, that's another big hit. Scott Connolly that time. Kamali wants to get out of his own territory. Robbie Ross is back there, 30 out from his own line. So they're 10 from halfway now to start this set.
Tony Butterfield coming back onto the field for Newcastle in jersey 8.
Andrew Johns running into dummy half.
Quinton O'Brien has left the field for North Lakes
20 minutes
Networking.
gone in this game here. The hits are fierce. The attack is unbelievable. But Robbie O'Davis just limping a little bit in back play. He might have hurt his leg that time when he took that ball up.
Badiris a dummy half. Johns back on the inside. Steve Simpson, the 19-year-old. He's junior rugby league in Singleton. They go to the air. Robbie Ross is underneath it and takes it well. 10 out from his own line. Puts a foot on the gas down. Just lost his footing, and that allowed McDougall to claim him on the 30-metre mark.
You in the hand in there.
Mark Hughes has hurt himself in that tackle. Going to stop Robbie Ross breaking through. What a great take, though. Under all sorts of pressure. There goes Hughes there. Then he copped a bit of a boot to the throat. He's called the trainer. McDougall giving away the penalty, holding his hand on the ball, so Robbie Ross couldn't play it quickly.
Just get him off.
So Hughes will come to the sideline for a bit of a breather. Big defence again at the time. Simpson. Kearney stepping. Great ball to Ross. But it was great work by Fletcher to read that one and shut the movement down just as it looked like Ross was in the gap and away. Anderson taken by his opposite number. Matthew Johns. Martin waits for the dummy half. Kamori the playmaker. Nikau. Dummies. Tara Nikau. About 5 metres out. Desperate defence by the Knights. Kamori, they go wide. Gaia for the line. Gaia over the line. Did he get it down?
We're going again. I think he's got it down.
Well, Harrigan has some doubt about whether or not Guy got it down. They've been over the line twice now. Will they get the green light this time?
Well, you just got to take a handoff to the Newcastle's defence, don't you? They come in at the right time there. And does he get this ball down? Andrew Johns is there. That is a try. That will be a try. And even when they roll him over, he manages to get the ball down. You can see Harrigan at the back there looking. He's already said to the video referee, I think he's got it down. Let you confirm it.
This one will tell the story. It's down. There it is.
That all comes from the Tarwira break.
Try time to the Melbourne Storm, so they've hit back. 23rd minute, 8-4.
Well, that was great work, as I said, Wes, from Tawera Nikau. He made the initial break. But the thing about it is you've got a bloke like Brett Kamali, his first receiver, always runs to the line. Puts the defence in 2 minds. It's a great cutout pass there. Still had a fair bit of work to do, Matt Guy, but he too much strength and was able to force the ball over the line.
Well, we noticed Hughes was off the field, and Sean Rudder, who's usually a second row, he was out there and he just got beaten by Gaia. Just with a little bit of an in and away.
That brings up 150 points for the season for Gaia. That's 13 tries now and 50 goals. So 13 tries equals Robbie Ross. Both of them sharing the mantle now as the top try scorers for the Storm. 26 between them this year. 52 points. An amazing season. Needs it to come round, and he raises the flags. Great conversion, smiles all round. So now it is in the 24th minute, Newcastle 8, Melbourne 6. So for that guy, it's only his 30th first-grade game. The last 2 seasons have been quite remarkable. 2 State of Origin appearances now for New South Wales. The first tackle after the restart for the Storm. Kearney, short ball, found his fellow countryman Matt Rua, another Kiwi.
Replacement player for the Storm in 10, Rodney Howe.
Back on the inside now, and that's Russell Bowden, the Storm's top offloader. No chance of an offload there, though. He was well and truly wrapped up. Now it's Kearney, the man who likes to stand in the tackle and offload to the support. Kamali looking for open spaces, kicking over behind Darren Albert. The chase is a good one, and Robbie Ross is there to slow him up. Crowd thought it was high, but I think it was around the shoulders. The referee didn't have a problem with it. Here's Davis.
David Lomax for Long Air Dogs, manufacturers and suppliers of high quality.
2 points the difference. Billy Peden.
So both lines of defence now is just not coming up as quickly as possible, though. 25 minutes gone in this game. Getting a bit tired. The interchange will be used widely now by both coaches.
Lomax. Leader inside the Storm territory. Andrew Johns picked the gap brilliantly between Ross and also Marcus Bai. And Bai running it out of his own in goal. Good return of the football again. He's hard to stop, isn't he?
That's one person I wouldn't be kicking to. I'd be kicking to a Siri Lang, and he goes forward now for Newcastle. So everyone's as hard too. Maybe I wouldn't kick to any of them.
Not a real good choice of kicker's got, has he?
Oh, just thinking, where do you kick the ball to? Great returners of the football, the whole back three of them, including Robbie Ross.
So Marquette back out there now for Kearney, and this is Marquette now. They've got numbers. Bowden, he's cut back on the inside with 3 men unmarked on the far side. He's had a brain explosion. Now it's Kamali. Kamali dummy his way through. Kamali got it back to Swain. Oh, to Martin, what a try for the Melbourne Storm. They butchered one, and now they've laid on a beauty.
That is some of the best football you'll see. The interchange of passes, people running into holes, people backing them up. Unbelievable. Marquette is the man who makes the initial bust. He picks up the fellow man, Baldwin. Bowden, I should say, and here he goes in this whole Marquette. Look at him. He showed enormous pace. He got away from everybody. Then he cuts back inside. Didn't look on the left-hand side where Robbie Ross and Marcus Bai was, but it didn't matter. The little man. And as I said, this is going to be the great match-up here. Holding the ball out in front, 2 minds, unloads one-handed. Swain's there, unloads one-handed once again. And the little centre. And Tony Martin goes under the sticks for a very deserving 4-pointer for the Melbourne Storm.
Easy conversion attempt here for Matt Geyer. 2 tries apiece now. Converted one from out wide, his own try. Trying to improve now on the 66%. No problem from there. The flags go up. So now it's the Melbourne Storm in front of the Newcastle Knights. 12-8. 28th minute. Kenny, great stuff.
Well, it is. You can never rest against the Melbourne Storm. You know, you can never think that you're on top of them and they're able to string 2 or 3 passes together, which I mentioned before. They'll do that and they'll find the gap on the edge of the ruck.
First hit up now from the restart, and guess who? Rodney Howe, averaging 25 hit-ups per match. He'll be enjoying his time out there in the middle of Marathon Stadium, where he learnt his footballing trade. Kamali. Line breaks 8-3. Melbourne have converted 2 of those into tries. 2 tries apiece. Now it's Marquette picked up and driven into the turf there. Butterfield and also Badiris. This is Paul Bell. Ben Anderson, wide they go as Siri Lang got rid of McDougall. You won't see that too often. Geyer. Kamali. He goes to the air. Robbie Ross charging down on Robbie O'Davis. Ross got there first. Knocked back. It's play on. Here's a try coming up for Marcus Bai. He'll go across untouched. The Melbourne Storm. Well, they're blitzing them at the moment. 30th minute. 3 tries now.
Oh, what football. Matt Guy wasn't too sure where the ball was going to go. Then he picks up the little man in Kamali. And then Robbie Ross races through, jumps up above the pack, knocks it back down. Matt Guy did magnificently coming from the right-hand side of the field. Then it was just catch and pass, and Marcus Bai goes for another 4-pointer for Melbourne.
Well, they always say a good kick deserves a good chase, and that was a great chase, especially by Robbie Ross. Very smart thinking as well, knocking the ball back, well backed up by Matt Geyer, and able to go for a great try for the Melbourne Storm.
You've just got to say, great, like you said, Robbie Ross did well, but that man there, Matt Guy, he's the guy who made the try because he's covered probably 30 metres from the right-hand side to get the left-hand side of the field to get the pick up to pass the ball on to Tony Martin. Aren't they happy?
7 tries leading into this match, so he's up to 8. 27 for his career, a short career at that. And Gaia trying to add the extra 2. That will really give them some breathing space. About 11 metres in from the far touch. That's the angle. 8 points the difference at the moment. And it's waved away. He can't add the extras. 31st minute, 16 points to 8. It's Melbourne over Newcastle. He won't be too happy with that conversion attempt. One of his worst efforts in recent memory. But it's 3 tries to 2. From the restart now, Rodney Howe, taken by Lomax, his opposite number. Kamali, Marquette. Anyone ahead on points in the halfback battle, Kamali versus Johns?
Well, I'd say it's pretty even still now. The little man in the yellow jerseys, and Kamali's having a great game, but so is Andrew Johns. Gordon makes a break. I think that call came pretty late from the referee and Harrigan as Howe goes forward once again. Great offload.
Bell. All of a sudden, a few gaps are opening up in that Newcastle defence, and it's now Kamali nudging it down. And it's a shocking bounce for O'Davis, but this time he's able to hold on to it, and Guy is there to claim him. 1 metre out from the Newcastle Knights line, so it's another good chase by the Storm. And here's Guy again. Melbourne, those 3 tries in just 8 minutes. Warren Ryan, the Newcastle Knights coach, would not be happy about that. They were certainly getting the upper hand the Knights before Melbourne went on the rampage.
The thing is, you can't coach against what they do.
Wild pass out to McDougall. It was tough, but knocked back is the call. And Bell is there with Lang to tackle him.
That's their 5th and last tackle. They've only made 12 metres, Newcastle. A lot of pressure here on Andrew Johns, and the Melbourne side come through to try and stop that kick.
And now Robbie Ross, 10 metres. This side of halfway. Across it goes to Marcus by Martin. And he'll be playing 5 metres inside the Knights' territory. Non-stop action here, but that was a shocking pass from dummy half. There was no forward across there to move into the dummy half position, and Robbie Ross threw a wobbly old thing out there.
Well, that ball was forward. And Harrigan's got a call.
Let
the touching.
Just let it go. Don't go pushing something, just let it go.
So pretty basic error here from the Melbourne Storm.
Richard Swain's really got himself in front of Marcus By, who had to try and throw the ball. Well, he did throw the ball forward. Put your side under a bit of pressure now. With Newcastle getting the ball back now.
O'Davis taken by his opposite number, Ross, and also Bell. That's the halfway mark. Peden taken by Bell. Brown again appealing for a penalty for a high shot, but Harrigan got a good view of it, said it was around the chest. Andrew Johns, the inside pass, Peter Shields. Chance of a hit back here. Butterfield, 20 metres out. The Knights, they're down by 8. They go wide. Matthew Johns to Hughes. They've left it behind. McDougall comes in and claims it. But it's gone forward. That's the call from Harrigan. The crowd, well, they don't agree with too much here when things go against their own side. They're vocal. They're very supportive, but on that occasion, I think Harrigan probably got it right. The ball bouncing towards the opponent's try line. That's a knock forward.
Great work there by Siri Lang. Hughes was running into a hole, come off his wing to make the initial tackle on him. Just put him under pressure and come up with a drop ball.
Not to rush up out of line.
It's Gaia. Now on defence in Newcastle, line breaks conceded. They've allowed 9 line breaks. The season average per match is 6.8.
New replacement for Melbourne in 13 to
because if they
Nico.
allow 9 line breaks in the second half, the Storm side will run away with it. 16-8 the scoreline at the moment. Melbourne over Newcastle.
And Greg, those line breaks are made by Melbourne have all been on the edge of the ruck. 2 or 3 passes are strung together, and that's where they're finding the breaks.
Swain a dummy half. Kamali. They go wide this time, and Geyer fires it out to Martin. A flat pass. Kamali goes to the air. Davis takes it. 10 out from his own line. He'll play it on the 20.
I'll tell you what, they're really testing Davis out at the back there. Nice big long pass, but at the bottom of his knees, and Hughes now backs it into McDougall.
Got the pass away to Lomax. To Shields now. And Rudder away from a sloppy tackle. Keeping it alive, Davis. Oh, that was a great tackle from Geyer. He read it pretty well. Came across and crunched him. 7 or 8 metres from halfway, and that's a bad pass from dummy half. Well, they weren't organised there. No one really knew which of the 2 or 3 runners should have got the ball.
Well, they're all queuing up to get the ball, weren't they? The man there, number 14, just got in the road, Clinton O'Brien. You see the boys looking at him. Matthew and Andrew saying, what are you doing there? Get out of the road. If we want the ball, when we call it, it comes to us, no one else. And I think he got the message loud and clear.
Geyer kicking on the first tackle. Nobody at the back. McDougall is there to clean up, though. Does he control it? Yes, only just for a moment. I thought he was going to let the football go out of his hands, but he got back. Well, real pressure early on from the Storm there. Not a bad tactic. There was no fullback at home. They just needed to kick it away from McDougall, though, to give them a chance.
Once again, they've got Newcastle on the back foot. They're around about 25 metres out from their own try line.
Hughes plays it. Final tackle coming up as O'Brien plays it. They go the short side. Rudder kicking on the inside. Chance here if they can keep it on the toe. Who's going to win the race? Rudder. Rudder's going to get there. They ran it on the last, and they've come up trumps. They backed themselves, and they've got the reward. 16 points to 12. A timely try too, just before the break. Well, it was the back rowers, in particular Sean Rudder. He kept it on the toe and had the pace to outsprint everybody. What a try.
Well, you see this here down the short side. Rudder puts in a little kick here, chases it up once again. Another kick through there. It was from Billy Peden. But Rudder, as you said, he had plenty of pace. Took his time getting to the ball. This guy come across, but just couldn't get there in time.
Well, I'm not sure this is the area that Rudder was at. I think he tried to kick it a lot further than he did, but it worked out. A very good bounce. Billy Peden backing up, nice little kick through. And as you mentioned, Rudder very quick for a second row. Just as well he dived on that ball when he did.
So, Sean Rudder, 3rd try in 99. And a good one for a back rower. Again, he's pushed it wide. Andrew John, so he's not having a happy night with the boot. Hasn't converted any of the tries yet. It's 3 tries apiece, and it's a Melbourne Storm leading 16 points to 12 just before the break.
Well, if you can do anything, they encourage nowadays for second rowers that to kick the ball, in which they did. Scott Connolly was the man inside. We did give a rep to Billy Peden, but it wasn't him in the end. And he took his time at the last second to get onto that ball. And the young kids are all in there in force. Showing each other a tap on the back. Maybe better Robbie Ross should have held back and waited for the second kick to come in.
So there's the restart. So this is Lomax, 20 out from his own line. O'Brien. Johns running to the line and offloading as well. Peden to Andrew Johns, dummying. McDougall cutting back in field and linking up with Davis, and now Matthew Johns. Oh, they're pretty to watch when they throw the ball around. Peden to David Lomax. He steps, finds a gap. Lomax pops it out the back door again. O'Brien to Matthew Johns, dancing, weaving, out it goes wide. They keep it alive any which way. And finally it breaks down. Just inside Melbourne territory. The halftime siren sounds. They put it in the air. And Siri Lang is back there. He just needs to hold on to it, and that will be the halftime break. Claimed by McDougall. Well, I'll tell you what, if the second half is as good as the first half, we are in for a sensational final 40 minutes of football here at Marathon Stadium. It is half-time, 3 tries apiece, but it is the Melbourne Storm who go to the break with a 4-point lead, 16 points to 12 for Melbourne to try to Gaia, Martin and Bai. Gaia has converted 2 of them. For Newcastle to try to Hughes, McDougall and Rudder, but none of the tries has been converted. Plenty of talk going on, no doubt, in the Newcastle dressing room. They led by 8 points to 0 at one stage, but then they allowed the Melbourne Storm to hit back with 3 quick tries. Melbourne already back out on Marathon Stadium, out in the middle, ready to get into action in the second half. Butterfield and Howe, the 2 big men, doing some work.
Well, they certainly are. One guy's doing a lot more tackles than the other. But then again, if you look at the hit-ups, Rodney Howe just absolutely outstanding offloads. He really led the way in one of their opening breaks on the left-hand side. Rodney Howe got the ball out to his winger. He's having a tremendous game, along with Anthony Butterfield, who really does lead by example in his tackles and hit-ups.
So backing up, of course, from the state of origin at Stadium Australia last Wednesday night, Rodney Howe up against his old club here. Plenty of metres gained in the first half. They'll be looking for more of that. Bearing in mind, of course, that Glenn Lazarus has what appears to be a groin injury, we're told. And Butterfield, the captain. That guy, he's had a great first half, backing up from origin duties. Matty Johns directing the play again in the number 6 jersey alongside his brother Andrew. I think Ben Anderson is opposite in the number 6 jersey. He's had a fairly good first half as well, Gary, considering the pressure he's under, filling some pretty big shoes, Scott Hill's shoes.
He certainly is under a lot of pressure. Both coaches, I don't think they could have asked for any more from any player out there that's taken the field out of the 17 from each side. They've both all been inspirational in attack and in defence.
So it's the Storm. First touch of the ball. Marcus Bai, one of the try scorers in the first half. Swain waiting for it at dummy half. To the short side, Rodney Howe. Wrapped up ball and all on that occasion. Gidley the tackle, also Butterfield, and now it's Nikau. Milestone for him tonight. 100th first grade appearance, Tawa Nikau. 61 for Cronulla and now 39 for the Storm. And there's the kick from Kamali. So they complete their opening set of 6, Brett Kenny, and they'll be pretty relieved about that. And the chase is a good one as well.
Yeah, they started the second half very well, Greg, and they've got to put a bit of pressure on Newcastle. Because Newcastle, in front of their home crowd, will be very pleased to sort of come back in their second half, and it'll be up to the Storm to concentrate on the defence and try and keep Newcastle down in their own half for a while.
Now it's Matthew Johns, and wide they go. This is Fletcher, taken by Kamali. Butterfield. Straight into Howe. Going there with Swain as well. There's the kick now from Andrew Johns. And Robbie Ross inside his own red zone, fires it out to Siri Lang.
Well, lucky there, Robbie Ross pick up that player, and Siri Lang, I thought it might have been a forward pass there. Now Marcus Bai goes from another about 5 to 10 metres upfield.
Martin a dummy half. Howe runs straight into Fletcher. Lomax came into lender hand as well. That's a sloppy pass from dummy half because the runners had overrun them. So now they go wide, and Matt Dyer is out there. Still a couple of tackles remaining. Marquette. And the Melbourne Storm this season 8-0 when leading at half-time, so they know how to go on with the job. Eventually they get the clearing kick away, and Robbie O'Davis in fact perfectly positioned. Now this is Darren Albert taken by underneath Anderson and over the top Martin. Davis. Gidley, 10 from halfway. Back to Robbie Davis, and now it's Andrew Johns.
That was good work there by Matt Guy. Come on off the centre position once again to shut that movement down.
Darren Albert, you talk about Matt Guy, surely one of the most improved footballers in the NRL. Already 2 origins under his belt, only his 30th first grade game tonight. He's the leading point scorer in the NRL with 150 odd.
And he's had a superb season. I'm very, very happy as now Andrew John goes to put the ball up. There's a charge now, next to be back to 1.
Good field position now for the Knights. Medeiros to Robbie Davis. Taken by Howe. Mark Kent was there, also Newcastle. Andrew Johns. The crowd really getting behind the Newcastle Knights. Their top crowd for the year tonight. And here's a penalty.
One there, one here.
Tonight, 25,793, the highest for the season here at the Marathon. And it's the 5th highest for the season, apart from, of course, the double-header in the Origin. 5th highest NRL club crowd. So well done, again, to the Newcastle Knights fans. They haven't been let down, Gary. It's been a cracker of a game.
Oh, it's been an absolutely unbelievable first 40 minutes. Just how the second 40s probably start off just a little bit slow, but once the interchange players do come on the field, I tell you what, it will speed up a lot more too. And the fans, they're pretty happy, even though they're down by 4.
Well, he raises the flags. The extra 2 points to the Newcastle Knights. They'll be relieved about that, and they narrow the gap. So it's now 16 points to 14. Andrew Johns, his first successful shot at goal tonight. Robbie Davis ends it off to Butterfield.
I'll tell you what, on that kick-off there, Matt Guy, I reckon, was around about 1.5 metres offside. It should have been picked up. That should have been a penalty back on the halfway there for Newcastle.
I think you find the referees really try and keep the game moving, and they give them a bit of a warning on the run. Do it twice and
the rules are the rules. You know, the rules, if they're going to be broken, you've got to be penalised.
The rule also says you've got to put the ball in the middle of the scrum.
No, I don't think that ever existed, even when I played 20 years ago.
20 years is right.
Yeah, well, it wasn't 40 like yours. You've lost a little bit of hair from up here too, just quietly, Brett Kenny.
That's since I've been working with you.
Have to carry me.
Back to the football.
You see the tackles there. Richard Swain works very, very hard around that ruck area. And Matt Geyer, 9 tackles there. He's done a lot of work, especially when he's been on the centres. And Butterfield, of course, leading the way, and Medeiros around that dummy half ruck area.
Right in the middle of the scrum again from Crawley. And now it's Anderson. Robbie Ross taken by his opposite number, Robbie Davis. The battle between the number 1s tonight. Anderson, nowhere to go, runs into the heavy traffic on the 30-metre mark. Swain gives it out to Howe, and he offloads. Evans back to Nikau, away from 1. Right in front of the uprights, about 21 metres out. Morley, Anderson, Martin, almost through the gap. A good tackle around the bootlaces by Matty Johns. Now it's Howe, double round, Kamali trying to get the fend going, but can't get rid of the Newcastle Knights and their captain, Butterfield. Final tackle coming up now. Anderson, he's got to put it on the toe. Picked up brilliantly by Robbie Davis. And it's the Knights coming out of their own red zone almost. About 15 out from the
Great hands by Robbie Davis there. Just off the ground now, it's Gidley. Wants to still kick. The kick was put in pretty hard there, and he just got down there beautifully positioned. Robbie Davis.
And now it's McDougall away from 1. And got a great ball away. Here's a chance here, although Hughes is stranded. He's only got the fullback to beat. The support arrived just a shade late, but now they need to shift it. But Shields goes straight ahead. They're still on a bit of a roll, though, the Newcastle Knights. 11 out from their own line, from the opposition line. Matthew Johns Back to Hughes, who throws a dummy. Try-saving tackle there from Robbie Ross. The penalty.
Everyone was here, there, and I'm back there. No, you just weren't, mate.
So the penalty goes to Newcastle, and here's their opportunity to square things up here. Just to the right of the post.
You can see where Bill Harrigan is positioned there. Well, you know, he's on the try line, but the play the ball's around about a metre back on the 10-metre line. So he's back around 11 or 12 metres anyway.
But the rule states we must stand behind the referee.
I understand that one. I always used to get with the referee.
Yeah, you'd be talking to him. You'd be in his ear all day.
Someone had to tell me how to do the game, as they even up there at 16 all the Newcastle side.
Well, the flags are up. The girls are on their feet. 16 all at Marathon.
Put those 2 points down to McDougall getting on the right-hand side again, offloading that ball out wide to Mark Hughes.
16 here at Marathon Stadium.
Kamali brings it back to the halfway spot. Newcastle, 20 out from their own line. Lomax plays it. This is Peden. Andrew Johns. Matthew Johns. And now Shields a double round with Matthew Johns. Still inside their own half. Davis at acting half. Andrew Johns. It wasn't touched by the Storm.
Bill Harrigan was waiting for a call from the touchy, and once again the crowd let him know that they are not happy with that decision.
Final tackle coming up now. And Andrew Johns. A big gap opened up for Johns on the final tackle. He's kicking ahead. As Siri Lang asked to run back and pick it up. He'll get the bounce about a metre out from his own line. And that's a good chase by Newcastle. Great work, Andrew Johns. He read that perfectly.
Defenders come up very, very quickly then to try and put some pressure on Andrew Johns, but they decide to run the ball in that last tackle.
Marcus by. This is Rodney Howe. Kearney. Kenny signs of the first half here that Newcastle just getting the ascendancy. Melbourne just a little bit of a run at the moment. There's Borden though trying to do something about it. The inside pass will go to Kamali. Was that forward?
That's play on.
Play on! Robbie Ross! Has he got the pace to get away from McDougall? Ross, try saver!
He should have passed it to Richard Swain. They've got to go to the right-hand side.
Somehow, the Storm didn't pick up. It's been touched. They've got another set of 6 here, the Storm. No need to panic. This is Anderson. 0 tackle. Swain at dummy half. They're 5 metres out. The Newcastle Knights are back on the defensive line, though. And now it's Kearney offloading. Borden, he throws a dummy, puts a head down, fires it out to Kamali. And Anderson. Anderson, wrapped up ball and all by Rudder. Still 5 metres out. 16 all at Marathon. A cracker of a game here. From one end of the field to the other. Now it's Rodney Howe. And Swain from dummy half. He's over the line. He's held up though. We'll come back for a scrum on the 10-metre mark. He got over the line but just couldn't free the hands to get the ball down.
Well, Robbie Ross, I think, has butchered a try there. He's gone through. This is great stuff here by Bowden. Watch him get the ball back on the inside. And it's touched by a Newcastle player on this pass just after this one there. It's touched by number 11 Shields. It's then play on. You see Martin there saying play on, play on. And there he is there. Richard Swain's got himself in a great position. That would certainly have been another 4-pointer, maybe 6 and kick the goal. It's the last tackle here by Richard Swain getting over. Great play the ball though by Rodney Howe. He had 2 or 3 Newcastle players around him, managed to come up with a quick play of the ball and allow them to get another set of 6.
They held up over the line on the 4th tackle. So the Storm will get the feet into the scrum.
to this. Listen to this. If it breaks up, I get rid of someone. So in you go. Tony Butterfield, take it easy. In you, put it in, get out of there.
Boys are just getting a little bit heated.
They need to be rich because it's cold down here, I tell you.
Back it up. Back it up and take it away. Do not take it over the mark. Do not take it over the mark. Let him go, Tony. Let him go now.
Anderson and Robbie Ross. Tony Martin stepping. Can't get away from Gidley though, and Robbie O'Davis. Marcus by. He'll back himself from dummy half, but really couldn't get any momentum going. Martin, Anderson, Matt Rua. 5-6 metres out from the line. Swain and Rodney Howe. In fact, it was Howe. Now they go wide. Anderson, Geyer, forced back on the inside. Great defence by Newcastle. Can they hold them out here as well? One tackle remaining. Kamali goes to the air. Over to Albert's wing. By wants it. By takes it. No, he doesn't. For a moment, it looks like he had it in his hands. And all of a sudden, Albert said, "I'll have it, thanks."
I'll tell you what, take your hat off to Newcastle for the defence. And then that great tag by Albert to save their bacon. Tremendous stuff here. Look, he never takes his eyes off the ball. He's up above him. He had the ball and he stripped it out of him. Great work, Darren Albert.
Possession at this stage going Melbourne's way, 52%. Time in their own half.
Only message for Jason Ridgway of Raymond Terrace. If you could go back to your parents, please. Jason Ridgway of Raymond Terrace.
Certainly reverse that
please
trend.
Go back to your parents.
Is Billy Peden.
That's a great run out of dummy half for Clark.
It'll be the survival of the fittest too. Can they keep this pace up? Here's Robbie Ross. 20 out from his own line. Siri Lang got away from a couple. And he's almost back to the halfway. Rua.
This is where I think Melbourne have got the ball now, got to play them on the edges and play like two passes as they did in the first half.
Kearney, short ball, he gave it out to Marquette, but Andrew Johns came up with a great tackle. He read it well. Swain, and now Evans, up to the 20. Couple of tackles remaining in this set. Swain. Kamali, Rua through one. Unmarked on the inside, he had a player. Borden on the other side, it was Anderson. He went to Borden's side and it was intercepted. And so Peter Shields comes up with a try-saving intercept.
I'll tell you how the Matt Rua did the right thing. He looked for the player to give the ball. The ball was just a little bit slow. Watch him go straight through Butterfield there. Tremendous run. He knew he had the player on the inside. And just got themselves in between the Newcastle defender. Tremendous work.
So 16 all here. McDougall, line breaks, 10 to Melbourne, 8 to Newcastle. Newcastle bridging the gap in the line breaks. Completion rate, 17 from 22, 13 from 18 for Melbourne. And there's the kick. Robbie Ross back there, perfectly positioned. And, oh, well, I tell you what, Andrew Johns had to come up with that tackle because there was a huge gap in front of Ross if he had got away from that. Now it's Rua, and hasn't he made an impact coming off the interchange bench? Only his 18th first-grade appearance. He's already had some test match experience for New Zealand, Matt Rua.
And that's going to be the difference in the game of how well the interchange is used because, as I said, players will get very, very tired. The quicker they get the fresher guys on, they'll put up the pressure on the opposition.
Bearing in mind, of course, that Melbourne are without Glenn Lazarus, who has a groin injury. So their bench is down to 3. Kamali kicking, touched, and it's play on. McDougall. Kamali hangs on. Like a little terrier dog. 16 is Conley. This is O'Brien. Fletcher pops it out the back door. Now it's back to nobody. And Martin is there. And he'll control Gidley, force him to play the ball.
was certainly going to do that penalty just then, holding on just a fraction too long. He's going held for 4.
One of the best Italian
Just
restaurants
struggling
anywhere.
to get off him.
Now with
Gives away the penalty.
One of the try scorers in the first half, Tony Martin. Andrew Johns, missed the broadcast side. Lions touch, a couple of metres inside Melbourne territory. Lomax. O'Brien. Got the one-handed pass back to Badiris. He's taken by Nikau. Crowd of over 25,000 starting to talk now. Getting behind their side. Johns, the inside pass, O'Davis. O'Davis just turning out of a tackle. Andrew Johns holding it. They go wide. Albert for the line, and he's got the ball down. And that's the first try of the second half. It goes to the Newcastle Knights, and they're back in front, the Knights. The crowd on their feet here. 20 points to 16, 58th minute.
Well, if you control the football, you are going to win this game of football. But Andrew Johns, beautiful. Look at that long ball. Martin to no man's land. And of course, Bai was just too deep to come up with the tackle.
Well, for mine, Newcastle had to be the first side to score in the second half, and that's exactly what they done. That was a great ball by Matthew Johns. And, Andrew Johns, sorry. But the thing that set it up was the work up the middle. Robbie O'Davis made that break earlier on. Made a couple of yards, dragged in the defence, and then a great long ball, as we said, by Andrew Johns for Darren Albert to go for a very good try.
One thing that Andrew Johns does do, put the winger in 2 minds whether he's going to kick or pass. Of course, that's what made Bai go back. Didn't have the pace to come up quick enough when he did throw the long ball to Darren Albert there to score that try.
And it all started also from that penalty as well. Tony Martin
tackle.
Not getting off the tackle player or the player that was called held.
Greg, this second half is very reminiscent of the first half, where Newcastle got on top early, but we saw Melbourne come home strong, and we'll just wait and see whether they can do that again in this second 40.
12 metres in from touch. And this time it's pushed wide again. He can't add the extras. But Newcastle in front, 20 points to 16, halfway through the second half. So that's 4 tries to 3 now to Newcastle. They can't take the foot off the gas, though. Melbourne are very good finishers. Robbie O'Davis hands it off now to Butterfield. Taken by Swain. Also in there was Kearney. Just outside their red zone. O'Brien plays it. Matthew Johns, the inside pass to Billy Peden. Johns got it back now to Conley. Shields running to the defensive line. Pretty good meters this set for Newcastle. Another penalty.
There, hand in there.
Well, they're their own worst enemy at the moment, the Storm, and Newcastle are pretty happy.
Steve Carney. Don't go, Steve. Steve. Don't go. Come out here.
Credit Union, Set Stadium Cinemas feature wall-to-wall exhibitions.
I'll keep working with them there. I'm working with the offside. Mate, if you're going to keep yelling at... Don't walk away, I haven't finished. Not until I finish with you. If you're going to keep yelling at me and have my job and telling me what to do, you're getting a fair go. Just start playing cool and there's no problems.
Yeah, just watch him play the ball. That's
I'll watch him. Yeah, mate. No worries.
This is the tackle here, and they give away the penalty once again. 3 Melbourne players in there. Hand on the ball. Well, I think he's actually just lost the ball cold there.
Well, it's a great opportunity now for Newcastle. 20 points to 16. And Andrew Johns taking them on. Stepping off the right foot. They didn't fall for it, though. Badiris to Peter Shields. Shields always looking to free the ball like he did on that occasion. Madeira stepping, looking for support. Back it goes down to Butterfield. Butterfield stops. Back to Andrew Johns. Johns getting very close. What a try! He's all class, Andrew Johns. There was nothing on there. He thought, I'll have a crack at them, and he comes up with 4 points under the black dot. Kick to come.
Well, as you can hear, the crowd have just gone absolutely berserk here. They go forward here with Peter Shields. He actually sets it all up, gets the ball out. That's what Melbourne's not doing, not locking the ball up. This allowed them to promote the ball. Robbie Ross, he gets caught up in a tackle here. Butterfield goes there, he goes, well, I don't know what to do with it. Here, you run with it, Andrew Johns, go straight to the middle. And then Robbie Ross trying to come up with another tackle, Andrew Johns, but missed him.
Well, this is a great ball by Peter Shields. Everyone thought he was taken, and that was he was held, but it got the ball away, and it was just a case of backing up them, which Newcastle do very well. And of course, Andrew Johns receives the ball. Robbie Ross tried to come up with the big hit. Andrew Johns just bounced away, went over for a great try, and that's the game for mine. I know there's just over 17 minutes to go, but I think Newcastle will get away with this now.
Another big thing too, before he just takes his kick, Tawari Nico, he stood still. He'd gone for Andrew Johns, who might have put him in 2 minds.
Right in front, he adds the extras, converts his own try. Some breathing space now for the Knights. They lead 26 points to 16. 63rd minute. Yeah, the flags are flying here. 25,000 people. There's the restart. O'Brien. 10-point ball game as O'Brien plays it on tackle 1. Heaton. Brett Kenny, you said that you felt Newcastle had to be the side to score first in the second half. That was the case. Now it's really imperative for Melbourne to hit back in the next few minutes if they're going to make a comeback.
Well, they've got to do that, Greg, but I just think the way Newcastle are going now, and with the atmosphere here and the support they're going to have, I think it's going to be very hard for the Storm to get back into the game, and I think Newcastle will just take it away from here. They're going to be very hard to peg back.
Hughes back on the inside. McDougall. Shields trying to keep it alive. Gets up and has another go at the Peter Shields. They're running hot, the Knights. No chinks in the armour at the moment. McDougall 8 metres out from the line. Andrew Johns puts it in behind the Storm, and Robbie Ross is going to watch it run dead. Or did he kick it dead? It's going to be a restart, in fact, from the goal line.
Oh, once again, Andrew Johns just got the ball on a bit of a string now. Puts the ball over there into open spaces there. Robbie Ross didn't take any chances. The last second, just kicks it over. They'll have to drop the ball back out to the Knights. And this little man here is on absolutely fire. The ball on that right-hand side to send away Hughes was just inspirational to his side.
Picked up now by Butterfield. Melbourne Storm. 41% of their points have been scored in the last 20 minutes in 99. That's the highest percentage in the NRL. They will need a repeat performance tonight because they're 10 points behind, but the Knights have hit the wall. They can see plenty of points in the last 20. And that's the highest in the NRL. Both sides showing that they have a few problems, especially the Knights. Sloppy play from the Knights on this occasion. Just a lapse in concentration. So as our statistics showed, it's just them starting to hit the wall, and Melbourne hit back. Melbourne have had problems early on controlling this Newcastle Knight machine.
Newcastle will be struggling if this man has to go off the field. So the ball gets knocked out there by Andrew Johns. He's copped an accidental knee on that right side in his back there. There's nothing meant in that there by Rodney Howe. Just accidental.
Tonight, you get a ticket to the next home game here at Marathon Stadium.
I think this is where Kamali knows if Johns is injured, he should run the ball. Should run the side that he is standing and try and put him under a bit of pressure in the defensive line.
Robbie Ross taken by his opposite again, Davis, and also Goodley. Now this is Wayne Evans.
And rake it out.
Well, I know the crowd are blowing up, and I tend to agree with me. I think Wayne Evans let that ball go. And that's why I think Brett Kenny, that really has to be looked at.
I think he's milked this one.
Look at this. He lets the ball go.
See,
That's why that rule has got to be looked at the end of the year, Brett Kenny.
exactly right. I've been saying that all season. It's just the referee has no alternative but to give a penalty because he can never be 100% sure. If there's a hand near the ball, he's got to penalise it. And as you said, you can see guys are milking penalties now.
Because the rules are the rules, Brett Kenny.
They are exactly so. Can I just mention too, Robbie Ross is having a bit of trouble with that right knee. He made a tackle earlier on, just before the penalty, and struggled to get to his feet. When he did, he was hobbling a lot.
And now it's Rodney Howe kicking. And Davis is back there and he knocks on the try line. Davis comes up with a big play, a knock on his own try line.
Well, Rodney Howe certainly brought his kicking boots here to Marathon Stadium. That's his second kick here tonight. This one's come on absolute perler. Robbie Davis getting across there, looking up to see where the players are coming from, which he had to. He had to make sure that if he got caught in goal, he had to get a drop out.
Kamali, cross to Anderson. Ross, the inside pass, it didn't work. It was well read by Matthew Johns. Bowden stopped in his tracks there. Got it back to Kamali. Nikau bounced out of one tackle, starts again. Nikau for the line. Getting very close. If he can get this down, it's a try. What a try. Inspirational stuff. He's the standard skipper with Glenn Lasmus on the sideline receiving treatment. Backed himself. Sheer determination. They are back in it now, the Melbourne Storm. Newcastle 26, Melbourne 20.
You won't see Robbie Davis make a mistake like that very often, but this man here, Russell Bowden, he looked like he was going for a money, gets the ball out the back then, and this is what the Melbourne side have been doing to Newcastle, standing and watching Tawera comes up a tackle there, Butterfield's putting in beside there, they come up with an easy miss, and then he just rides them all there. Gidley's the man trying to stop the ball. Look, he gets it down just in the nick of time.
Well, this was poor defence by the Newcastle players. The first tackle there, they didn't try and put him on the ground, just tried to knock him over. And again, John's come up with another missed tackle. And Nick Howard, too much strength. It's a great effort to score a try. They put Melbourne back into the game. As I mentioned earlier, I still think Newcastle will get away with this.
Andrew Johns was the man who missed him twice in a row.
Did you say he got in the Nick Howard time?
Nick Howard time. It's the Kiwi Nick Howard time.
I thought you said that. Important kick for Guy here. 9 metres in from touch. He's hooked it around to the left. He can't add the extras. 6 points in it now. 69th minute. What a finish we're in for. 26-20. So they're on the score sheet for the first time in the second half, the Melbourne Storm. Will that give them the momentum to come from behind and pick up a vital 2 points and stop the rot they're in at the moment? They've lost their last 2 matches.
One thing they'll probably both coaches is the missed tackles.
Well, the kickoff has come off the uprights. And Newcastle are going to come up with it. There was no knock on in there. It came off the legs. Great opportunity for the Knights to put them away well and truly. Matthew Johns. What a kickoff coming off the uprights. And the Storm couldn't control it. Here's O'Brien. Touched by Nikau. That's the knock on. Scrummel packed down. Let's have another look at that kickoff, Gary.
This game has had absolutely everything in it. I can't believe there's not one Melbourne player there whatsoever. They're all gone behind the try line to try and take the catch. Tawera Nikau comes flying up, but he couldn't get the ball from Melbourne either.
I'll tell you what, if you spoke to Andrew Johns after the game, he'd probably tell you aim for that upright.
I think what would concern both coaches is going to say the amount of missed tackles from each team. Newcastle having 21 and of course Melbourne 23.
Here's Johns. Andrew Johns taken there by Rua. And also Billy Peden from dummy half. Great opportunity here for Newcastle. They lead by 6. A try here should be enough to seal it this time. Matthew Johns stepping. Real pressure on the Melbourne Storm. Johns inside Butterfield. From dummy half they go. 1 metre out. Final tackle coming up. Butterfield fires it out to Andrew Johns. He goes for the drop goal. It's away to the left. He went for the one-pointer just to give them a bit of breathing space. And it just shaved the left-hand upright almost and went on the wrong side of it. Now it's Swain.
Who knows, with under 10 minutes to go in this game, that 1 point would meant that the Melbourne side had to score twice. It certainly does let them off the hook a little bit, and maybe get down the other end and put on another try.
Kearney, 12 from halfway. Swain picks up 5 or 6 metres.
Two number 9s have had a great game, haven't they?
Some stars out there, not just the number 9s. And that's a pretty good kick. Just controlling things and forcing the play deep inside Newcastle territory. Inside the final 10 minutes of the second half.
That man on screen there, Kamali, he's the man, has to start running to the line, put the pressure on the Newcastle defenders. Get some runners out nice and wide for him. He'll certainly put someone through a gap or go through one himself.
These sides have got an interesting run of the Storm, the Roosters, Manly, Eels and Bulldogs in the next 4 rounds. The Knights of the Cowboys, West, Norths, and then a bye. Possibly an easier draw for the Knights. The 30-metre mark, still in their own territory, Newcastle. Lomax to play it. O'Davis from dummy half, just giving his forwards a bit of a breather. Final tackle, Johns. 15 is Simpson. Back to Andrew Johns. Good support play. This time he gets the kick in. They needed to go over the dead ball line, Melbourne, and they watch it roll over the chalk. So they'll come back to the 20 for the restart.
Isn't it great to see that they'll just make something out of nothing? They've got players backing each other up on the last tackle. They'll run it, and then they have the kick.
54% to Newcastle. Time in their own half. Newcastle, 54% down in their own half. But they have the lead, 26-20. Nikau trying to make his 100th first grade game a memorable one. He's on the score sheet.
And lost it.
Knock on.
Andrew Johns comes over the top there, holds on to the ball, Tawera just trying to get up to play the ball. That could easily have gone against him. So he's lost the ball pretty cold there. Medeiros turns to the referee, so I want him to have a hands on it.
Johns to his brother Matthew. And this is Hughes. McDougall. Another great run out of McDougall. Oh, he takes some stopping. 1 metre inside Melbourne territory.
What you've got to take a hat off to is the players that played in that State of Origin game are probably nearly the best out there tonight for both sides.
Well, they've all had great games, haven't they? Oh, they just continue to keep going.
Run up. On the 30. So they play the ball there. Gidley.
That was on there. Whack, not on.
And Steve Carney had said something to run it then, and as he played the ball, Steve Carney has pushed him in the face and given away the penalty. You know, they're having a little bit of a chat here. He goes to walk away, just gives him a slap in the ear. Put his side under more pressure now.
17 is Fletcher. Well, they've copped the caning in the penalty department, Melbourne. They've conceded 9. Newcastle have only conceded 2. It's been pretty sloppy, their discipline. Rudder. Simpson. 10 metres out. They lead by 6. Looking to put it beyond doubt. Sloppy pass, but Hughes picks it up. Dummies. They don't fall for it, though. Will they work it back towards the centre of the field and go for a one-pointer? The Johns boys, they've kicked 22 field goals between them in their career. Andrew 13, Matthew 9. And it goes back now to Andrew. Nobody in front of him. It's there. The field goal is successful. 7 points the difference now. Isn't he happy?
I think he knows this is Melbourne side. I've got to try in, and as Kamali comes back to the halfway, he's going to start to skate pretty quickly. Some pressure on. I hope he's kicked this ball too deep. Well, I can't believe Brett Kamali's done that. They have plenty of open spaces down the bottom end of the field here where he should have put the ball. Look at this. Half the Newcastle side were up here. He should have put it down nice and deep. I know that he's trying to go for a 40-20. This certainly puts his side on the back foot now.
And it's the Knights again, ready to apply the pressure.
What number is it, number?
They were down by 4 at half-time, and they've scored 2 tries, 2 penalties, a conversion and a field goal in the second half. Newcastle to just the 1 try to Nika for the Melbourne Storm. It's been a good effort. They've been helped along by this big crowd here tonight, the biggest for the season so far at Marathon Stadium, 25,793. This is Fletcher. Matthew Johns. Keeping it alive. Conley plays it. A little grubber kick in behind the line. Who wants it? He's had to carry the ball back into the in goal there, Marcus Bye.
Players just arguing there with the referee. Billy Harrison saying we're going to argue it. Go and have a look at after the game.
Davis takes it.
Melbourne side very, very tight now. Very slow to get up off their line.
Newcastle have reversed the trend of conceding points in the last 20. They haven't hit the wall in this match. It's been the Storm that has hit the wall. They've run out of puff. Gidley, sloppy pass though, picked up by Geyer. He fires it out. Swain. Bye. This will be the first time in their short history that the Melbourne Storm have lost 3 matches in a row. But for those people who are prepared to write them off, I think we've seen glimpses of a comeback in their form department here tonight. The Storm playing against a very good Newcastle outfit in front of a very good crowd. Swain, Anderson.
You've just got to take a health in this now. Anderson makes a bit of a break. That's why Andrew Johns went for the drop ball. You know, this side here can score points.
Bell to Martin. About 27 metres out from the line. A couple of tackles remaining in this set. Looking to finish with a consolation try or a bit of a flourish, and it's good work from Geyer and also the ball. 2 of their best tonight, the Melbourne Storm. Geyer for the line, under the black dot. Kick to come, but they're going to be beaten by the clock, the Melbourne Storm. The 1-pointer from Andrew Johns will be the difference. 40 minutes up on the clock, kick to come from right in front. So it's 27 points to 24.
Here at Marathon Stadium.
Don't say another word. You have.
And it
Don't
is
say another word.
unofficially full time. We know
And
you
Stephen
enjoyed your
Kearney
night at the
really
stadium and would like
skating
to
on thin
request
ice
that
at the
upon
moment.
leaving the ground,
Harry has just
you
about had
step
enough of
quiet
his
and
back
orderly
chat.
manner for the neighbours.
From right in front, he raises the flag, so 27 to 26. What a match. Gary Freeman.
It's a great game of footy. See Andrew Johns there.
Well done to the Newcastle Knights. They trailed by 4 at half-time. It was a Storm leading 16 points to 12, but Newcastle really came out fired up in the second half, and they went out to a 10-point lead, 26 to 16. Then the field goal from Andrew Johns, 27 to 20. Melbourne hit back with that converted try, but it is full time here at Marathon, 27-26.